Let's talk some trading truths. Specifically, are you a wolf or are you a sheep? And I want to show you how to know. And really, in my mind, there's no better way than to kind of walk you through a real life example that played out in my private community and just kind of ask you some questions. And in order to figure this out, you just got to be honest with yourself. So if you are actually a sheep, hey, you know what? That's okay. At least now you know that you are a sheep, because as soon as you identify as a sheep, well, that's self-awareness, and now you can start to become not a sheep. So like I said, just be honest with yourself, and if you ultimately, your answer leads you to the path of, oh yeah, I guess I kind of am a sheep, hey, that's okay. No problem at all. Like I said, that's great. You've identified it, now you can change. So on the screen here, I'm gonna put up an image that shows at the top that an alert from the chat room that I made. And I was alerting 363 on Facebook, and I ultimately made over $600 on that alert, and this was taken from social media. But the point here and the dynamic that's going on, which you saw on the screen there, was that I made an alert to the chat room of 363. So part of that is gonna be, okay, well, there's members, right? You sign up for a community because you want watch lists, you want trade alerts, and you want all those sorts of things. So here's the question though, is at this point in time, what would you be doing? So you see 363, you just go and trade it. Hey, Clay said 363, Facebook is at 363, trade, boom. Just make the trade. Or do you go and do this? Think, meaning, okay, Clay said 363, you're looking at 363. All right, let me think about this. So which is the sheep, which is the wolf? Maybe you're ahead with this, but if you're just saying, you know what, and this doesn't mean necessarily my community, but in any community, and I should note that if a community expects you to do what I'm about to explain, I would be very careful with that community. But if you're like, no, I'm just gonna trade it. You're a sheep. You are a sheep. That's not gonna be a viable method long-term. Because if you're just looking to simply copy somebody else, to puppet trade them, then I get it from my perspective as a sales pitch of, hey, why you should sign up for my community. You don't have to think for yourself, right? You just go and do whatever I say to do and you'll be just fine. And look at this example. That's not going to be a valid, long-term, consistent strategy. Now, can it work here and there? Absolutely. But long-term and consistent, no, not. If that's all it took, then there would be world famous stock pickers where they'd be like, oh yeah, just sign up for my service and I'll tell you what to do and you don't have to think for yourself at all. And they would be world famous because everyone would be like, wow, I just signed up for this service and all I do is make a bunch of money. But why isn't anybody famous to that level? Well, because it doesn't actually work that way. Again, marketing perspective, sales pitch perspective on why somebody should sign up for your service, absolutely. But that is a total sheep mentality. So if that's what you would do, hey, Clay said 363, boom, I'm in. He said 363. No. What a wolf is gonna do is they're gonna think about it. Which brings up the question, okay, fine, Clay, fair enough, but what are they gonna think about? Well, strategy. Meaning, does 363 fit into my strategy? Is that number, is what he's alerting, does that have a relevance? Does that pertain to my personal strategy? What about this? Do you agree? Maybe, let's say it does fit in your strategy, but you're saying, you know, Clay, I can see 363 and I can see how you might be thinking it. But me personally, sure, it fits my strategy, but I don't know. I don't agree with 363. I think that number should be, and I'm just making this up, 363 and 50 cents. Maybe 362 and 50 cents. But point is, they're thinking. A wolf is saying, okay, yeah, I get the general premise. I can understand, but yeah, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree relative to my strategy because sure, it does fit my strategy, but not quite. And do you see the big difference? This one, yeah, it absolutely takes a whole lot of thinking because, yeah, you have to figure out a strategy that works for you. We all have different personal risk tolerances. That's why, and I've used this a million times and I'll probably use it a million more. What do I mean by personal risk tolerance? If you were to ask me, hey Clay, how do I have fun? Some people's answer to how to have fun is you go skydiving. Other people's response to how to have fun is you curl up by the fire and read a book. Neither person is wrong. Both people just have different risk tolerance levels. So the strategy of having fun is different because of those risk tolerance levels. The same is true for trading. So that's why you need to make sure you have a strategy that fits your risk tolerance. And then within that strategy, that's going to help you figure out whether you would agree or disagree with alerts that are being made. So yeah, I alert 363, but that is not, the intention is not to just go blindly trade it. Like a bah, sheep. Don't be a blind sheep. It is intended for the wolves to be like, all right, I get it. We're wolf pack, we're working together. This wolf spotted 363, but for my attack, for my approach as a wolf, is that quite what I'm looking to do? And in some situations, when people are like, no, cool. In fact, it's great when people disagree with me because at least that means they're thinking. They have their own strategy. They are actually trying to work things out in their own mind. And there's nothing wrong at all with disagreeing because it doesn't mean that I'm wrong. It doesn't mean that they're wrong. All the disagreement means is, hey, we have different risk tolerance levels. So looking at that and based on how you answer this question, that's how you're going to know. Do you have a sheep mentality right now or do you have a wolf mentality? And if you do have a sheep mentality, that's right. At least now you know. But just realize that blindly following can work here and there. But is it going to be some sort of consistent long-term strategy? Absolutely not. If it was, well then, like I said, those people would be world famous because everybody would know who they are because everybody just signs up for their service and all they do is just, but that's just not how the reality of the markets work. So if you're a sheep, totally cool. At least now you know. Now you can change. If you're a wolf, well then well done. Keep on being a wolf. Keep on thinking for yourself. And if you are a wolf, and I have no problem. I will gladly beg. If you are a wolf, or at least if you're a sheep that's willing to become a wolf, then please consider joining my community. I'm here to surround myself with wolves or sheep that are in the transition to becoming wolves. I don't want to be around a bunch of sheep, all right? So if you want to just be a sheep, stay a sheep, then definitely don't join. But if you're a wolf or you're a sheep that is now ready to transition to becoming a wolf, then yeah, by all means, I have all shame aside, I will gladly plug and say, please consider joining my private trading community because you will fit in very, very nicely. So if you want to learn more, just go to claytrader.com/team. We'll put a link up on the screen though too, but I think you can remember claytrader.com/team and you can learn more about this private community where you saw this alert actually come from. But yeah, wolves or sheeps that are transitioning, definitely consider signing up. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.